Hello, hello, hello. So, today's question is if this is it, if this is the last day, last week, last month of your life, what will you regret not doing? And honestly, I don't like questions like this. I don't. Because people's, I guess the cliched cultural response to this is, you know, if you knew you were gonna be gone, if you knew you were gonna die, you should go on vacation. You should go do all these things. You should go, there's a song, ride a bull, climb mountains, all the other stuff. And to me, it's kind of the last thing I would want to do. I don't know. And it's fine if that's for other people, if that's what they want to do. But so this question, if this is your end, what will you regret? And thinking about this, I thought about all the things that I wouldn't regret that seem so important to me in my day-to-day life. I'm pretty sure that whether or not my floors were clean is not something that I'm going to care much about when it comes to the end. And whether or not I have clean floors, what people thought of the food I made, what people thought of me, in a general sense, how I made them feel is different. But the things that I worry about day to day, and maybe that I put importance on, that really aren't that important when it comes down to the end and what you're going to regret. That list, like what car I drove, again, whether the floors were clean, whether I finished watching a Netflix series, whether I did this or that, not that important. And honestly, I don't really think about death too much, not my own anyway, because I kind of see myself as being one of those tiny, rickety old ladies that wears brightly colored sweaters and wants to kiss all the babies. You know, one of those tiny ladies, I'm sure you've seen them, those little tiny old ladies that look like a swift wind could blow them over at any moment. That's kind of how I see myself. I don't really think about my death too much. I don't have any fear of death. I really don't, because when I leave this earth, where am I going? To my first and last love. So I don't welcome it, because I still feel as if there is plenty to do here on this beautiful, wretched, lovely, horrible, painful, delightful rock that we circle around the sun and live on for a very fleeting amount of time. And we put very much importance on things that really aren't that important. So, what will I regret not doing? And that made me think about the blessings that I have in my life, and the things in my life that are really important, that if I didn't steward them effectively, I would regret. And the main thing for me today, while I'm thinking about this, is the people in my life. The people in my life that I believe are gifts and blessings to me. You know, my family, my children, my husband, my friends, my father figure. Am I stewarding those blessings in a way that is worthy of their gift? You know? Am I loving them in a way that is worthy of what they are? And Sometimes it's difficult to love your blessings, and sometimes it's difficult to look at some things as blessings. We just decide, like, oh, I have these people in my life and they're here and I serve them, and um, they're not giving me back what I want, or, they're acting this way or that way. So then I can look at it as like something that as it not being a blessing. It's difficult to it is difficult to love a very angry 17-year-old son that feels as if the world is against him and everything is not going his way. It's difficult to love someone in that state. And sometimes that love looks like being very straightforward and honest with this child and laying it out for him and being tough and strong and not collapsing into a puddle of tears. And sometimes that love looks like giving him a hug and telling him I love him after he ran his mouth and was very 17, and loving him anyway. And so what I would regret is not showing the people in my life how important they are, not putting them in the order of importance that they belong in, not sitting with them and knowing who they are, for the way they were created, and loving them in that even when it's difficult, rather than deciding that I have a bunch of work to do and that's more important. Because in the end, I am not going to regret having messy floors, incomplete meals, an old vehicle, or I'm not going to regret the way I fed my chickens either. And those things have an importance. We do live on a mortal earth. You do have to do certain things. But putting things ahead of that, chasing like fleeting pleasure and gratification that's only going to last for a little while, spending thousands of dollars chasing material things that are going to vanish into dust and not really matter in the end, is that as important as stewarding and managing and caring for the blessings that you've been given, and when they're in the form of another human being? Where's your order of importance? Do I need to lay down the standards that I have for my home and what it looks like and what I think I need in order to support, love, and be there for the people that I've been given? So that is what I would regret if I was gone. Not loving, and of course I love everyone on this list of people, but not leaving my blessings in the form of people with the knowing that they were more important to me than the state of my floors. And floors is a generic example, but that's something I bring up because clean floors are important to me, and mine seem to never be clean. But anyway, difficult question today. I hope that I was able to be clear about my answer. It's more about not taking people for granted and loving them where they're at, and taking the time that you would much rather spend doing things that maybe bring you pleasure or distraction or whatever. Spending the time with the people that you're given and being there with them even when it's difficult. Like loving my son through the age of 17 right now. He's a good boy. I love him. But it's tough when they're angry at their mama. It's tough. Thank you guys. I look forward to your answers. And yeah, tough question. We'll pick an easy one for next time. Live and love as we were created.